Welcome to the Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn. This show is all about a lifelong passion for movies and 20 plus years of experience in the film industry to create the most fun, entertaining, informative, and thought-provoking breakdown of Hollywood cinema as humanly possible. If you've ever seen a movie and have a sense of humor, this is the show for you. The Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn is brought to you in part by the support of Golden Age Cinemas. Yes, it is a drive-in. Check them out at www.goldenagecinemas.com. Playing this week, Lightyear and Thor, Love and Thunder. Today on the Slate, is comedy dead? Welcome in, Scott.
Hey, Kent, look at this. Look
Diggs.
where we're at. Where are we?
Man, the digs are...
I come on board and we get this new...
Yeah, we had to make sure your check cleared.
right. Wow. Yeah. Oh, hey, look, before we get started.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
We got
Take
the
two.
Slate, right? Where are we here, right?
Yeah.
So what do we got? The
Take
Slate,
two.
we're on episode 2. So I'm a veteran now.
Yeah,
I got one under my belt.
that's right.
Right.
Now it's comfortable.
Oh, so today, what are we talking about today? As I've been kind of promoting this week, this is our comedy show. But we're not going to really celebrate. Well, we're going to celebrate comedy, but is comedy dead? Namely, the great American cinematic comedy. We're going to get into that, but I've got a lot on my mind, and I need to talk about Thor: Love and Thunder really quick. And it's going to tie into the show too.
Okay.
Have you seen Thor: Love and Thunder?
No.
You're not into the Marvel thing, so I'm not.
not.
I'm not going to spoil anything. For
Some
you.
of the audience maybe.
I'm not going to spoil anything, am I? Have you seen it?
I have not seen it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
it's all right.
All right. Well,
Go ahead.
we'll do the earmuffs.
How long has it been out?
It's going into its third week. Friday.
Yeah, so if you should have seen it by now if you
I'm
haven't.
going to give you mild spoilers.
Yeah, that's
But
fine.
so I see Thor: Love and Thunder, and I already knew that I wanted to do this comedy show, and this works out really well because the one complaint about Thor: Love and Thunder is, oh, it's too funny. You know, they made Thor a comedian, and you know, Taika Waititi. He started this with Thor Ragnarok. We want, Thor's a god. He's the god of thunder. He should be powerful.
yeah.
And this should be an action movie. And actually, I think that this Thor: Love and Thunder, as a comedy, works. I don't think that the message that they tried to get across would have worked if it wasn't a comedy. And I actually think it's one of the deeper Marvel movies that there's been.
Really?
So let me dig into this. I watched it once. I'm going to watch it again this weekend at the drive-in just to kind of solidify my thoughts on this. But so really, Thor: Love and Thunder, and I'd love to hear what people think of this. This is what I came away with Thor: Love and Thunder. The whole point of the movie is Thor's a god.
Yeah.
And it asks the question from the very beginning, is a god capable of love? And that's a pretty deep question to ask for a comic book movie, let alone. And Disney's very good with the way they subtly, put in their little messages. Guardians of the Galaxy, we had especially Volume 2, we had the question of, what's a father's love? What does a father mean? The whole meaning of fatherhood. And what they get into here with Thor: Love and Thunder, of this question of, is a god capable of love? Because when we think of love, it's a very mortal specific emotion, because we mortals have a finite amount of time, and that's kind of what gives love its value, because you're not guaranteed tomorrow, but a god is guaranteed tomorrow and the next day and the next day. So what's the point in love? So can this omnipotent, all-powerful, all-knowing being be capable of love? So that's the question they ask. And in the beginning, we see Thor in his the opening battle scene. He's fighting, and he's trying to save this alien race, and while trying to save them, he destroys their temple and destroys their cities and things that are important to these people. So in the beginning, Thor's a little reckless, and you question, is Thor capable of love? And the movie goes on to kind of show Thor's progression towards being able to love. So we know that he loves Jane, who becomes the mighty Thor. So Jane is Jane his true love? Is he capable of true love? The villain, and this is the other thing I like about the Marvel movies, is maybe it's because I'm getting old and I'm a little crankier, but I find myself relating to the villains in these movies so much more.
I know that
than
guy.
I did as a kid. But I mean, I also am relating more to Gran Torino. Get off my lawn.
That's
too.
right.
So maybe it's just me. But Gore, who's the villain in this movie, I'm watching. He's a sympathetic villain, just kind of like how I found Adrian Toome's character Vulture in Spider-Man: Homecoming, or even Killmonger in Black Panther, and some days even Thanos to a degree. You know, where you kind of see where he's coming from. You don't feel good about it, but you're like, he kind of has a point.
Yeah.
That's evil, but it's a good point. So Gore, he loses his wife, he loses his daughter, and he's angry. So Gore becomes a godlike character in the movie, and in the end, what saves him is Thor telling him. So Gore goes to the center of the universe where you can get your one wish granted, and Thor pleads with him and says, "Listen, I know you want vengeance, but what you should really wish for is love." So Gore, who's a god, Thor, who's a god, Thor's pleading with him to, if you get your one wish, let's wish for love. He wishes for love. He dies. His daughter comes back. Thor raises the daughter as his own. And what does he name her? Love. And eternity becomes love and drifts off into the distance. And I think that's a really cool, so this comedy, this movie that everyone's saying, it's too lighthearted, this is too funny, actually has a really, really hardcore, deep question that it's asking, which is a God capable of love? And walking away from a movie where everyone's laughing and, oh, that was pretty fun, I like this scene was cool, and I'm walking away, I'm awake that night thinking about, is a God capable of love? Like, did they answer that? Did a Disney movie answer that question for me? And so it was interesting. I'd like to hear what other people have to say about that. I know you'll be running out because you love the Marvel movies. You'll be seeing this one
right
tonight, right?
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
So something interesting, and that leads us into today's show, which is the topic is comedy dead? The American cinematic comedy, the Animal House, the classic, the Porky's. I have that written down because I knew you'd bring up Porky's.
That's right. You have to bring up Porky's. It's a great comedy. Yeah.
When you think
Beulah Ballbreaker.
When you think of classic Great American comedies, would those movies that we deem as classics,
right,
the ones that we mentioned among many others, Blazing Saddles, would those ever
History of the World,
Part 1,
Part 1,
right,
Piss Bucket Boy.
Would those not just get those would never get made today?
No,
never.
No.
So, but why is it? I don't think that it's because our sense of humors have changed, but I think that there's gatekeepers who are trying to decide for us what you think should be funny and what shouldn't be funny. So they don't even expose you to something they think you shouldn't laugh at this. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So is it sanitized to a degree that we really shouldn't be...
Derek Bear, thanks for listening all the way in the corner. Adam Sandler movies. Funny,
but... we'll look back. This is a question I came up with. What was the last great American comedy? Classic. I think comedies have always been kind of underrated and kind of dismissed unfairly because I think comedies do something that no other genre of movie can, or really any entertainment medium can, like comedy, which is hold a mirror up to society and say, this is what you are, and that's uncomfortable.
Wedding Crashers. Funny.
Wedding Crashers was for sure one of the last ones.
You motorboat.
So I went back and I looked at all the comedies that have been made.
Yeah.
And I go back to what's the one touchstone picture? What's the last one?
Okay.
And what I came up with, in my opinion, was The Hangover.
Yeah.
If you dismiss its sequels.
Hangover 1.
Hangover 1.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Hilarious. I think that's the last comedy that came out in theaters that people really hold on to as a classic.
Classic, yeah.
After that, it seems to really be...
The sequels were not so good.
No, and actually even to hit on the Adam Sandler thing, when's the last Adam Sandler movie that's been in a theater?
Yeah.
They're all on Netflix.
Yeah. Talladega Nights.
Talladega Nights is...
I don't know what to do with my hands.
And that's the beauty of...
I wake up and piss excellence.
Oh, you love Will Ferrell too.
Oh, I do.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
But I mean, Adam Sandler's got his classics. For me, I remember going to see Billy Madison at the Woodstock Theater.
God, it's beautiful. It's cool to pee your pants. Everybody's doing it.
Everybody's doing it. So the movies that we think are classics, I don't think they'd even get greenlit today. If we walked into a producer studio and we came up, if Blazing Saddles had never been made and we came up and we said, listen, we've got comedy gold right here. You want to, give us a budget and we'll make this and everything will be fine. They'll laugh us out of the room before they'll read page one.
Right.
They'll be like, this movie's going to be 2 minutes long. We're going to get to the opening title and we're going to have to end it because we can't show what you want to show.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you look at a movie like Groundhog Day, which is it's a comedy, but it's a movie that really makes you examine what you deem important in life.
Right.
A movie that I think if it hadn't been done so like satirically or so comedically, it might have been up for Best Picture. I think it was that good of a movie.
Yeah.
But comedies get dismissed to the point now that you can't even find them in theaters.
Yeah. I don't know about Get Smart.
Wait, did you say Get Smart?
Yeah, that's Derek said Get Smart. I don't know.
Oh, Get
I don't
Smart
know about
as
that.
a classic.
No.
The show maybe, but yeah, I don't know about the
Tommy Boy. Another
Tommy Boy.
Come on, Farley.
I have them on here. The Farrelly brothers. So yeah, we have Blazing Saddles, but even like the slapsticky stuff, I don't think it would get made. The airplanes, the Zucker Brothers stuff, airplanes,
right.
Naked Gun,
Naked Gun,
those
Naked Gun 3.5.
Naked Gun 3. Is it? Wait, which was The Smell of Fear?
Yeah,
was it two and a half? 33 and a third.
33 and a third. 2.5, 33.
Right. Yeah. But none of those would get made.
No.
And those. I mean, I don't know if those are that
and those
offensive.
Are hilarious. Nice beaver.
Nice beaver. Thanks. I just had it stuffed. Nice beaver. The baseball scenes in that movie.
Oh my god.
Never ever get old. I don't know. That movie came out in '89, I believe. So I was 13.
Yeah.
That was the first time I thought I was going to die.
Brilliant. Yeah.
That's the first near-death experience I had. It was at 13. When the guy falls over, Ricardo Montalban's character falls over the stadium, and the marching band goes over him. The steamroller goes over him. I couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
I really couldn't breathe.
Yeah.
I'm like, it doesn't get any funnier than this.
No, it was. And I will stop what I'm doing and still watch it today.
Me too. To this day, my favorite rendition of the what is it? Enrico Palazzo. He did the. Remember, he dressed up as Enrico Palazzo, Frank Drebin.
Oh.
the
Star Spangled.
The Star Spangled Banner, right?
Oh, see, I sit here and laugh at it. It's brilliant.
We laugh, but what's the last comedy you saw in a movie theater? Do you remember? Like out.
It was in a movie theater. It was probably the Spy Who Shagged Me. Yeah.
Wow.
Austin Powers series. Yeah.
Really?
In the theater. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I think I caught all of them in the theater. But
yeah. I don't even know what the last one was that I saw in a theater. I was trying to think of that today. It would have been probably around the Hangover time. Yeah. But since then, everything seems to. Comedies I think comedies are the toughest movie to make because comedy is so subjective.
Subjective.
What you find funny, well, I think you and I kind of find the same things funny.
Right.
Some bad example, but. I've got a dark sense of humor. Others kind of like the Three Stooges type of humor.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Oh, hi, Chris. But comedy's so subjective, so you're going to make a comedy film that has to appeal to masses. Mm-hmm. How do you appeal to that subjective sense of humor on a wide scale in order to be successful? And the ones that do that, they hit a common denominator that all of us have. They hit like a thread that echoes in everybody, and that thread is the truth that they're trying to get out, that they just hide in laughter.
Right. So back in the day, it was just a comedic writing was genius. Now you got to get somebody who can deliver it. Right. So you're Zach Galifianakis.
Yeah.
A perfect delivery throughout The Hangover.
Right.
Just
brilliant. He's got like his thing down.
Yeah.
He's the one thing that he said.
Who let that out?
I love. They go, why do you have a beard? And he goes, really? He goes, you want to know the truth? Why I have a beard? And they go, well, yeah. Why do you always have a beard and everything? And he goes, because if I shaved, I look like a chubby Jodie Foster. And if you can picture it, he does. Picture him without a beard, and he just looks like like Jodie Foster was in Willy Wonka was becoming the blueberry.
Right.
But Zach Galifianakis. But one of the things that I was thinking of, I'm like, we've lost this year alone. We lost Gilbert Gottfried, Bob Saget, Norm Macdonald. Pioneers in a brand of comedy that I don't know will ever come back. I don't know what it would take for that type of comedy to come back. Yeah. So
They say Gilbert Gottfried was dead for like 2 days because they did. His eyes were so squinty all the time. They weren't sure if he was dead.
Right. Nobody knew. Yeah. But who would be, and is there room for the next Richard Pryor, the next Eddie Murphy, the next George Carlin?
Oh, George.
Today's Carlin. Norman Lear's 100th birthday.
Really?
Would Norman Lear make it in today's landscape of comedy and entertainment? No. And that's a shame because what he did with All in the Family, what he did with the Jeffersons, what he did with, he was a genius. And I think that somewhere in this world, there's geniuses like that who aren't going to ever get the stage to say things that need to be said. And comedy's a platform to say things that need to be said in a way that it can't be done anywhere else.
Yeah. What about one of the viewers is asking, how do you feel about Kevin Hart?
I like Kevin Hart. It's safe.
As a comedian.
He's talented for sure.
In the movies?
Yeah, it's the same. He's kind of the same.
Yeah, he
character,
and Dwayne do the same.
Right.
Movie.
Yeah, the Central Intelligence.
It was like Farley and Spade. I mean,
yeah,
it was the same. Black Sheep.
Right.
Tommy Boy too.
Black Sheep. Yeah, it was the poor little brother of Tommy Boy. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I like Kevin Hart. I just think would he be better without the restraints that he has on him?
Probably.
And he's pretty funny with them.
Yeah.
So it feels like we're living in this world of comedy where the seatbelts are on really, really tight, and you're not. So maybe instead of a airplane, we're getting a scary movie, or instead of a Blazing Saddles, we're getting a Don't Look Up.
Does Hollywood truly now appreciate Robin Williams for what he was? Now his comedy was deep.
Very, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And are we seeing now Hollywood with Thor, Love and Thunder, trying to find that deep comedy?
And that's what I think is happening. Yeah. Or I think there's such clever writers now that they're able to manufacture the comedy like it used to be, but package it differently. Yeah. You know what I mean? So The Office, the show The Office is a good example where they get away with a lot because of how they package it.
Right.
They're getting away with the same stuff that Cheers got away with, but Cheers could just be in your face with it.
Right.
The Office hides it under layers and layers and layers of subtext
or if you animate it. If you're animated, you get away with anything with
anything
animation.
animated. Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. Or hide it in a comic book movie. Thor, Love and Thunder.
Yeah.
It's a comedy, but it had a huge message.
Right.
A huge message. And I guarantee you, everybody walking out of that Thor, Love and Thunder thought, oh, that was a cute movie. But the writers and the director, Taika Waititi, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it's almost like a subliminal thing that's going to stick in your head.
Mm-hmm.
There's images in Thor: Love and Thunder. When Thor and Jane when Thor is remembering his courtship with Jane and how it faded away, and those are things that everybody relates to. Everybody's gone through heartbreak. Everybody's gone through the breakups or the divorces. Yeah. Those are relatable things that are just buried under comic book tropes and the comedy that they brought to the feature.
Derek says that's why I love Marvel movies, because of the tight outfits that the actors wear. I'm sorry. It says well thought out.
I read that
well
right
thought through.
Marvel movies are well thought out, and I think it's a crime that a lot of people dismiss the Marvel movies as just
all right. So where does this one rate? Is this one, because the Marvel movies are always action packed, and this? So where does this one rate amongst your Marvels?
Where does it rank amongst Marvel? I don't know. Each Marvel movie is kind of its own animal, so it's hard to rank it. I enjoyed it.
Presley, how are you?
I would. Here's what I'll say about Thor: Love and Thunder. It was a very unexpectedly emotional, comedic 1980s rock video.
There you go.
That's what it
was. Boom.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
The love,
and
the
it's
love
very
ballad.
Similar.
Yeah.
It's very similar to what Titi did with Thor Ragnarok, which I felt was he did his best, like John Carpenter themed Escape from New York. that was the vehicle that he delivered the movie on. This was a 80s 90s music video. He wanted to make a music video. Yeah. He wanted to make an 80s rock music video, but he wanted it to have a message and wanted it to be an hour and a half long, 2 hours long, and he accomplished it.
And of course, grossed $6.3 trillion.
Yeah.
It's a good grossing film.
But that's the thing too, is it did well. It opened huge. Then it had maybe the biggest drop off from week 1 to week 2 for a Marvel movie. And it's got the lowest on Rotten Tomatoes, where they do the tomato meter or tomato meter.
Presley's yelling at you.
Presley.
Scott's the man!
We know, Presley. Save the keystrokes. We know this, right? Save your fingers the work. No. Presley, I mean, I'm not going to argue. Who am I to argue with the viewer, right?
I think that comedy isn't dead. I think we're afraid to go there.
Fear.
So you're saying, is it, the keepers of the gate, the guardians? Are we, are we saying this is funny? If we think about, so back in the day, and when I say back in the day, with Porky's and Stripes and National Lampoon's Vacation, those type of things.
Right.
It wasn't about the bottom line. It was, hey, I've got a neat idea, and let's make a movie. And this will be funny because we've got Chevy Chase in it. We've got John Candy. We've got these funny people in it. Let's make it and be funny. Now it's, I can't make it unless I'm thinking of the bottom line. And if I offend some people, I'm not going to hit my bottom line.
Right.
So I think the industry has shifted from let's be creative and entertaining to let's make sure it's entertaining to make the bottom line.
And I think that's the key word. Yeah. It's in industry.
Yeah.
Comedy's it's an industry. The entertainment, it's more of an industry now than it was then. So the movies that you mentioned, most of which had Saturday Night Live headliners. Yeah. That group, that Saturday Night Live, that founding group, I think was so important because they were bigger than the industry at the time. Yeah. They created their own industry. There's nobody that big anymore. There's nobody bigger than the industry. The industry dictates what gets made.
Maybe The Rock. The Rock's right up there. He's pretty big.
Yeah, but
not funny.
I like The Rock. His movies are entertaining. He's super sanitized too himself. He's a product. He's a product as much as he is an actor or he's as manufactured as any of the movies he makes.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. Mr. Perfect. Yeah.
Mr. Perfect. So I don't know. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if comedy is dead. If it is dead, is it because we've changed or because the makers, because there's nobody out there bigger than the industry that you talked about that can steamroll through that and say, no, we're making it my way. I mean, we see it in other genres. Horror. There's a lot of financed horror movies that come out. What happened?
Tom O'Dell saying The Rock is the most electrifying person in all of entertainment.
Oh, of course.
Of course, Tom O'Dell, the host of Let Me Tell You Something, Brother, right here, 21/6 the Net.
He's an entertainer. He is, but he's a product. He's just a He's been made to be what he is.
I love the mindless comedy. I just want to be entertained and laugh. I don't necessarily want to have to go back and watch it 3 times, like Pulp Fiction, and go, oh, I missed that. Right. Oh, that's deep.
Right.
How did I miss that? Right.
Yeah.
When I go, I just want to laugh. That's why I love Will Ferrell. People think Will Ferrell's horrible. I'm like, he's hilarious.
I think he's a genius. Yeah.
Just hilarious.
Playing that overconfident buffoon.
Yeah.
To perfection. Yeah. He's a genius.
Yeah.
And ironically, from Saturday Night Live as well.
Right. And Sandler was mentioned earlier. Grown Ups was a pretty funny one.
I have major problems with Grown Ups.
Oh, you don't like that?
No.
All right.
No. What's your favorite comedy of all time then?
My favorite of all time,
if we exclude Porky's.
Yeah, right, and Stripes. It's probably still Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy.
Tommy Boy. Yeah. I die laughing at that.
Yeah.
All the time. Derek, of course, Derek, you'll know Derek Bear. Derek Bear is the host of the Bear Facts on Guns, and he wants to know what is too far in comedy. When does it go too far?
I think that's subjective too.
Yeah.
I mean, what's too far for me? I mean, you'd have to go pretty far, but
Yeah. You're gonna have to slap my mother or something.
Right. I mean, you look at everything that gets censored on. Look at outtakes. You buy the Blu-ray of a comedy, and you look at the outtakes. That's them deciding this is too much for enough people that it would cost us money,
Right.
and that's the thing. So,
But let's throw it here as an extra.
Right. So here's a bonus on the uncut director's edition Blu-ray special copy. But what's too far? That's as subjective as what you find is funny.
Yeah. I mean, I still go back to any Three Stooge. I love the Three Stooges. The physical comedy, anything with physical comedy.
The physical comedy
is pretty funny. Yeah.
Or the gold standard of what they used to do for comedy when they were creating their content was the one that never failed was tragedy plus time equals comedy. So that what they would do is they would go to their comedy clubs and they would test things out and they'd be like, okay, too soon. Like, well, let's wait another month or year and see if this hits again. And eventually it does. And but what's too far for me, Derek, is probably different from what's too far for you.
I don't know. He's pretty sick.
Derek's pretty sick. Derek, you're pretty sick, huh? We have a lot in common then.
That's right. No, I think the darker and the sooner we have to laugh. I think laughter is fantastic. So I don't think there is a too far.
No,
I don't remember going ooh.
Did you? There's
if I did go ooh, I'd go. But really, that's really funny.
There's a documentary from about like 10 years ago called The Aristocats, and it's a documentary about one joke called The Aristocats. Gilbert Gottfried's in it. Every comedian you can think of. And what they do is the reason this joke is popular amongst comedians is because it's known as the dirtiest joke of all time, and you can make it whatever you want. So everybody has their own version of this Aristocats joke. And this movie is covering everybody telling their filthiest version of this Aristocats joke. So even me watching that, there's some of the, like Gilbert Gottfried, who was, God bless him, but man, he was a dark individual. And his version of that joke in that movie even had me saying like, oh boy, like Gilbert, like, wow.
See, I may say that, but I go, but it is funny.
Then, right in the back of my mind, I'm like, you feel guilty over thinking something's funny. That's so wrong, right? But that's what's so great about comedy, and just like when we were talking about Thor: Love and Thunder, we said love is a very mortal, a very human emotion because there's a finite amount of time, and for all the different reasons that it's very unique to us. Is the same thing with comedy, I think, because comedy is it's a way, it's a weird, it's kind of a funny emotion comedy or humor because it doesn't really make sense. It's just kind of there as a safety net to catch all the things that you don't know how to deal with emotionally, and you laugh at it, right?
Yeah.
It's a coping mechanism.
Yeah.
And to have that coping mechanism kind of guarded by movie producers or content creators, I think is doing a disservice, and I think that's why there's so many. I think the new form of comedy of what we're used to seeing with the American classics that we talked about are actually memes.
Right.
I think that's kind of taken the place of what we were used to seeing in the movie theaters or the type of comedy we were getting, because memes are they can be wrong. And you can say, "Oh boy, that's that meme is."
Well, memes are where 45.62% of Americans get their education. Hey, I saw it on a meme, so it must be true. Right? I'm going to repeat that
and sound smart.
Sounds smart. That's right.
Guilty.
Yeah,
I do that all the time.
I find them hilarious.
I'll save memes in my phone just so that I like when needed I can like break it out, look at my phone, and then sound smart.
Tim Santos he's brilliant at it. I don't know how.
Tim's good with the memes.
He's
making them or reading them.
Making them. Yeah, that's a good job. Yeah.
But the best is when you're with a group of people and somebody says something and you've seen that meme, and you know that they're being unoriginal, and you could call them out on it, and it's just nice to know you have that power. But
hey, there is Miss Petrova. Look at that.
oh, oh, that's cute.
There you go. There you go. All right, listen, we're at the bottom of the hour, which means that you're listening to the Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn. Tonight is Comedy Dead. And, of course, the Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn is brought to you in part by the support of Golden Age Cinemas. Yes, it is a drive-in theater. www.goldenagecinemas.com. And playing this week, of course, Lightyear and Thor, Love and Thunder. And you get some pizza out there now, huh?
Oh, well, we've had pizza out there, but Jexel's brought in.
Jexel's.
Yeah, they put a nice little display together. And,
That's it.
Yeah, I love their pizza.
Sit, boo-boo,
Jexel's-
sit.
Good dog.
Good talk. Right. I heard that back there.
Yeah, if you could get that reference.
That's right.
Ouch. And this weekend at the drive-in, just to get this out of the way. So Friday, we'll have, like you said, Lightyear and Thor, Love and Thunder, but then we also have the McHenry Area Rotary there. Tons of games, tons of prizes. We got some bounce houses that we'll have up front for the kids.
Yeah.
A Thor cosplayer.
He
will be there. Yeah,
the same guy that was there this past weekend.
Yes, because this is the mighty Thor Kent, who is a woman.
I don't know.
So she will be there handing out candy. You can take your picture. She's awesome. And then Saturday, I can't wait. If you've been to the drive-in, you've seen the ad that Joe Diamond has where.
Yeah.
I don't want to come to the drive-in and check out his little magic trick before the show and at intermission, but he'll be there live Saturday before the movies.
That's cool.
And at intermission, all ages show. So it should be a lot of fun this weekend, more than just movies.
And the weather's supposed to be perfect, so stop on out.
Right. Yeah, it's supposed to be a very nice weekend.
Gorgeous. That is
So yeah, you can come see the comedy Thor, and Lightyear.
So what is you asked me, what's your favorite comedy film?
There's a lot. The one that I've been going back to a lot within the past couple of years is The Cable Guy.
Oh, that is good.
That's one of
Another
those
deep one.
comedies that you
Yeah.
watch over and over because man, there's some levels to that movie that are I didn't know were there when I first watched it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we were all enthralled with him, and oh God, he's so funny.
Right. And that was a risky turn for Jim Carrey, doing a very pitch black comedy. Ben Stiller, who directed that, and that was a big risk for him. But the '90s in general, I think are. I think we should
the Fockers.
meet the Fockers, meet the parents. But you said Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
That was also when Dumb and Dumber came out. Aforementioned Billy Madison.
Oh my gosh, Dumb and Dumber. Yeah. Something about Mary. Shayna says.
Oh, there's something about Mary. Yeah, another Farrelly Brothers.
Thanks,
film.
Shayna. Shayna says, "Wow, nice set. Thank you."
It is beautiful.
And Mike says, "Love the Cable Guy. It was great."
Yeah, Cable Guy's
something about Mary again.
Something about Mary that would never get made today. There's absolutely no way. The other movie from the Farrelly Brothers that I watched recently was Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh
no,
not today.
I forgot how bad that. I mean, bad in a good way, but that movie pushes some real boundaries.
Oh yeah, Anderson's in that. What's
Oh yeah.
God bless it. I'll think of it. But he was just in Blackish. He was the lead guy in Blackish.
Oh, that's right. Right.
Anthony Anderson.
Anthony Anderson. Yeah.
Hilarious.
As one of the sons. Yeah.
Yeah, Shayna, you're right. Blazing Saddles, not a chance.
No way. No way.
And still funny to this day. And it's even funnier now because it's so unacceptable.
Right.
To me, I'm like, oh my gosh, that is.
And that's the thing too. So I was going through Facebook today. I saw all these posts about today's Norman Lear's 100th birthday. Yeah. So just for grins, I took a scroll, on IMDb through his, filmography or everything that he's responsible for, and he's the godfather of comedy for sure. Yeah. We wouldn't have gotten our Tommy Boys if it wasn't for what he did.
No way. Yeah, that is good. The Cable Guy.
The Cable Guy's that's a dark. You watch that. You watch that. By your third viewing of that movie, you watch that, and it's a completely different movie.
First of all, we were all enthralled because Ferris Bueller was back, right?
Oh, right. Right. And then,
another great one, Ferris
Bueller, yeah. Yeah, when that came out, I remember I had a choice to see that Ferris Bueller. I forget the year that came out, 86 maybe?
Yeah, 86.
But I could see that or Willow. What did I pick?
You went with Willow.
Yeah.
Not me. I went to... I went to
History
that and
doesn't
I was like, this is going to be the rest of my high school career.
This is what high school is like. I
This
can't
is
wait.
so real.
Right.
Yeah. It's just like it.
And I also thought, I had the impression that all high schoolers looked like they were 30.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Like Matthew Broderick and
Right.
Cameron. Yeah. He said he was just on. I watched a repeat of. Remember Craig Ferguson's talk show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw an episode where Cameron, I forget the actor's name, but he was on there and he said, to this day I still have to explain to my daughters, look, Daddy wasn't 30 when he was in high school. Because they would always ask me, were you really bad in school? Because why were you still in school? Like, look how old you are. I was like, no. That
was always it. And then when you saw him again, you're like, wait, he was just in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man.
Why is he on the speed bus right now?
Right. What is happening? Oh yeah.
And then speaking of Matthew Broderick, he was in another really, really edgy comedy, Election, Alexander Payne's Election, with the legally blonde girl, Reese Witherspoon. And that's another one. So
here's what Shayna says: Shaun of the Dead never gets old.
No, Shaun of the Dead's a great movie. All that the Cornetto trilogy with Shaun of the Dead, the one where they're lampooning the like bad boys, the buddy cop.
Oh,
I don't know. I'll think of it. Yeah. And then the one with the tavern at the end of the apocalypse. But all those movies. Shaun of the Dead is a great movie because it works well in two ways. It works really well as a horror movie, and then it works really well as the movies, lampooning the zombie movies.
Yeah, the scary movies, all those.
Yeah. And they're the Zucker brothers. They're very good at the, Airplane, which was making fun of Airport, and Naked Gun, which was making fun of all the police procedurals that were out at the time. And they did that really well.
You tell your old man to drag his ass up and down.
Right. Drag. Who is he talking about?
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bob Lanier.
Yeah.
Roger. Over, under, over.
You
overdone.
ever been to a Turkish prison?
That is great. Got a drinking problem.
Yeah, right. I picked the wrong week to give up sniffing glue.
That's right. Oh, look, there's a sale at Penny's.
Yeah. So we have all these comedies that
Keith, how are you?
that we'll never get again, or if we will, it won't be for a while. I don't think the landscape's there for something like that to happen again.
Or is it about to turn?
Is
it so dead now that it's about ready to turn? I'm starting to see more comedians, more activity on Netflix and things like that, and stand-ups and things. So are we in a societal position where we're like, all right, we're ready to laugh?
Yeah, and I think that may be a
and is Thor: Love and Thunder an easy way in?
I think that's a good point. I think I think Thor is one of many doors that will be open for comedy to borrow the line from Jurassic Park. Life will find a way.
Right.
Comedy will find a way too.
Yeah.
But it's going to find its way maybe in ways that we're not used to. In cinemas, that's something's going to have to happen for a comedy of the kind we're talking about to get back to theaters. Mm-hmm. But the brand of comedy that we're talking about, I think you can, if you're looking for it, you'll find it. Whether it's The Onion, or if it's memes, or if it's websites, or if it's Netflix, there's outlets for it. It's just I find it unfortunate that there's no outlet for it in American cinemas currently.
Yeah, Mike, of course, one of the Dream Home experts says we need to start laughing at more stuff. Everything has been too serious. Of course, you can catch the Dream Home experts. We've got a live one coming up this week, 8 o'clock on Friday evening. Good stuff. Down at the Quiet Cool Studios down there. Keith, another one of the experts. Nice job on the studio again. Thanks, Keith. We put a lot of sweat and blood into this.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like this. It almost makes me look good.
No.
That's tough, right?
No,
that means you did a good
job.
You got
a great face for radio. Trust me.
Oh, there we go. Oh, man. So we need to laugh at more stuff. I mean, that's true. I think the question now is how. How do you laugh at the stuff? Because I think people are afraid to laugh.
Yeah.
I find, if somebody says something that's, walking that line of, is it offensive
even
or not?
the sitcoms, so like Parks and Rec, these things have gone away, right?
Right.
30 Rock, they're all really kind of funny. And by the way, Alec Baldwin's still walking around. Anyway, there's too soon.
Tragedy plus time.
Yeah,
Let's test it out.
All right. But we need to, and when somebody just says screw it, let's just get a crazy one up again, and not necessarily an Adam Sandler. We all expect that,
right,
from Sandler and his team. At Happy Gilmore or whatever it's called.
Yep. Happy Madison.
Happy Madison Productions. But does an upcoming comedian break into it and just do something?
Man, there's so
lampoonish again.
There's so many walls to.
But how fun? I mean, how much could be lampooned in today's society?
Are you kidding me? It's like ripe for the picking, but everyone's too afraid to pick at it.
Oh yeah, I pick at it.
That's like, so like if Dave Chappelle came into my house tonight, and he said, "Listen, I'm just going to stand here for an hour and make fun of you," I would be like, "All right, how do you like your coffee after you're done?" Like, I'm fine with it. Like, make fun of me, but I also I'm very self-deprecating too.
Right.
So it's gonna be very unique. I think it will happen. What you're talking about. I think that there will be this revolution that'll happen, where someone's just gonna say, you know what, screw it. I'm gonna say what I think is funny, and if it offends someone, fine. Because I think that there's gonna be more people on my side that find it funny, and he's gonna have this band. He or she are going to have this band behind them.
So many people dump money into these comic strip movies. You could lampoon that. You could have fun making fun of fun.
But here's where the tide's going to turn, and the tide's going to turn when these studios and these producers start to realize that there's money to be made in offending people.
Right.
Then you'll see a groundswell of offensive content, or too hot for TV, or The Girls Gone Wild.
live from Brandon Falls.
But that's it.
If you don't know where that's at, Google it. You'll understand what I'm saying.
If you can monetize people being offended, then it'll change.
Well, and so back in the day, that 90 minutes was hilarious. Stripes and those things.
Right.
If I go back and watch it now, I love the full frontal nudity in the first 18 seconds of every movie that they did in the 80s, and then none after that. But you kind of go, well, this is kind of slow.
Yeah, right.
This is not. How did I sit through this many, many times? Then my wife will come in and be like, "Why are you still watching this? It's hilarious. I can't pull away from it."
Right. Or there's the movies that you watched, if you were stoned or drunk and. You watched them in a certain frame
pretty
of
much
mind,
all the 80s.
and you can't wait to show your friends this movie, and then you sit down with them. The only problem is you're all sober, and it's not funny. So comedy's very weird.
Bill Burr is hilarious, right? I mean,
which one?
Bill Burr.
Bill Burr, absolutely, yeah.
And he was a writer. I think he was the main writer for the Chappelle Show.
Right.
So if you go back and watch the Chappelle Show, so somebody like that is just brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant, and to write a movie, do a movie, can it hold you for that 90 to 120 minutes?
Yeah, it's tough.
75 to 90 minutes. Otherwise, people aren't going to pay to see it.
And not just hold it, but appeal to a broad enough audience that it's a successful, business model for whoever produced it.
Yeah,
it's a really difficult thing to do.
Yeah,
really difficult. Action movies are easy. You throw some special effects in there, you got a crowd.
Yeah, Keith, throw up there, Keith, what your favorite comedy movie is. Think of that now, Keith. Well, why I say that, I think Keith's probably in his mid to late 20s, early 30s, age-wise. So give us a different perspective. Yeah. If I'm shooting you way too young, Keith, I apologize.
Blazing, Keith, you know Blazing Saddles, right? I hope.
Yeah. Boy, he would love it.
Yeah,
he would. He's.
If not, go rent it before they're all gone.
Before they're all gone, absolutely. So that Tommy Boy, funny, well written, delivery of Farley, brilliant. And he and Spade were good. So
right.
we've always had forever, Scott, the duo.
Yes.
Right, so
the straight man and the
Laurel and Hardy.
Right.
Who's on first?
Abbott
Abbott and
Costello,
Costello. Farley and Spade.
Yep.
And then of course Farrell and who is his sidekick on Step Brothers? And
John C. Reilly.
John C.
Yeah,
Reilly.
Yeah.
Those two are kind of that 1-2 punch. And now you kind of look at that and go, okay, how does it work, or who do you need a duo for that? Is there a 1-2 punch?
I haven't thought about that. That's interesting because you go back all the way back to Martin and Lewis. I don't find Jerry Lewis very funny.
No,
but the French love him. You know what I mean? But there's always been that duo, Kermit and Fozzie.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
There's always been that duo, and is there a duo right now? Key and Peele might have been the last one.
No, that was
they were pretty good, but
so,
now Jordan Peele's off with the #1 movie in America that's not a comedy.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't seen it. Yeah.
Nope. It's a horror movie. Yeah, it's his third. This is his third straight movie that's #1, and it's the only movie to go #1 that wasn't a sequel, a comic book movie. He's the only one making original content right now.
Yeah, that's cool.
And he started in comedy.
Yeah.
But that might have been the last popular duo. If anyone knows of one, tell me, because I can't think of any.
Yeah, so Keith says Blazing Saddles is by far my favorite comedy movie. It could not be made now, unfortunately.
No, it could not.
Could. It wouldn't go anywhere.
No, it wouldn't.
That would be a Netflixer right off the bat and then taken off after the first one.
Yeah, that's one that wouldn't get made. I remember we played, it was bizarre timing. So in the fall, we do the fall throwback movies at the theater where it's, because there's not really any good new movies, so I try to theme a weekend. And so I did I was doing a Mel Brooks weekend. So we were doing Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles. And the day that we were going to open it on the Friday, Gene Wilder died.
Oh, yeah.
So it turned into Gene Wilder weekend. And Blazing Saddles, there were a lot of people who sent in a lot of upset letters and emails and messages about how could you play Blazing Saddles. And I think it's an important. I think you can shy away from showing a movie like that because it has importance. It has historical value. It has a lot of value. And then Gene Wilder died, and the tone of the emails took a different spin where it was thank you so much for playing this, and this was so thoughtful. When in reality, I've had this planned for a month.
F you if you can't take a joke.
That should be the name of the show that they come out with that changes everything.
That's right.
F you can't take a joke.
Yeah, it's so fun. Of course, you've got the Slate. This is Real Talk with Scott Dehn, all about Hollywood, the inside scoop on things, and of course, he's our guy out there at Golden Age Cinemas. Check him out at goldenagecinemas.com. Playing this week out there at the Drive-In Theater is Lightyear and Thor: Love and Thunder. What does he say? Well, hey boys, look here. Where the white woman at?
Excuse me while I whip this out.
Nobody move.
Keith, we'd get along just great, I think. Yeah. So I don't know, that weekend with the Gene Wilder, it showed me something because there was a lot of anger before, then there's death, and that's what changed the tone to a tone of gratefulness.
Well, and there's so much tension right now in the world after the last couple of years that are you afraid to laugh at it because somebody might look at you skinhead.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's funny.
Right.
Come on. It's hilarious.
Right. And what I find funny being at the movie theater is even a movie like Thor, which is it's comedy, but it's very safe comedy, right? But even with a safe comedy, it's been playing for a couple weeks now. But when you stand back and look, some of the jokes that come out, you do see people look around like to see if it's okay to laugh. Like, who am I around? Like, I don't want them thinking I'm an asshole or something. If I laugh at this, but people are afraid to laugh. They're afraid. They're afraid of what they find is funny is going to make someone else upset.
Tough shit.
Right. Right.
That's all I gotta say. I love to laugh. If you talk to my daughter, who's a therapist, not my therapist, she's just my daughter. She's Dad. I go, yeah. What's better? Would you rather cry, be mad, or laugh? I want to laugh. So I try to make. I poke fun of everything.
Right.
And in uncomfortable situations, yep, I'm gonna.
And isn't the best comedy the uncomfortable comedy?
It is.
It really is.
Oh, it's brilliant.
If it makes you uncomfortable and you still laugh,
Yeah.
that's genius, I think.
Yeah, and how does the industry get back to it?
Maybe through discomfort.
Yeah.
Some of the funniest movies, some of the funniest anything is based in that feeling of that like uncomfortable, like feeling uncomfortable in your own skin while you watch
Yeah.
it. Like this is Spinal Tap, or The Office. I mean, how many times did you watch The Office and you sit there and you think like he says something, Steve Carell's, he says something or he does something, and you're like, oh man, like you squirm in your seat.
40-year-old virgin.
40-year-old virgin, yeah.
Same-
all the
same
Judd
character
Apatow
there.
movies, yeah.
So good.
If they make you uncomfortable but you're still able to laugh,
Yeah.
that's good. And I think we're in a very uncomfortable position as a society right now. And maybe that's the way we kind of weasel our way back into this comedy thing, by laughing at that, discomfort.
Don't touch them. Leave them in the don't touch them. They're action figures. That's it.
That's what was the other one? Superbad. You remember Superbad?
Superbad.
That was one I came up with. I'm like, oh,
Great, though.
That wasn't 2007.
Yeah.
Here we are.
McLovin. Everybody loves McLovin.
Yeah. They would never make that.
Not today.
No way. And that wasn't that long ago. Things have changed in a short amount of time.
It was that long ago.
Oh my God. Yeah, 2007. I guess
14,
it was,
15 years. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Ouch. Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Well, when
that-
was The Hangover? That was 2009, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
That's when you know you're getting old. Like, it wasn't too long ago. Literally, it was over a decade ago.
Yeah. Yeah. That's like someone said to me, or I read it somewhere that, was it Beauty and the Beast? Disney's Beauty and the Beast, the animated one, came out closer to the date of the moon landing than today's date.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And then that's.
It's true.
And when we say moon landing, we are using air quotes for that.
Oh, right.
Moon landing.
The supposed
Yes.
moon landing.
That's right. Yeah, still watch it every time I see it come on, though. I don't know what were we talking about?
I'm going to guess probably Blazing Saddles. Do they even play that anymore?
I don't know. Keith says, I think the worst is when people go to a comedy show and get upset from the jokes. I know,
no
right?
doubt.
What are you doing?
Right.
Why did you go?
Like, what do you feel like doing tonight, honey? I don't know. Let's go get offended. Let's have dinner.
Of course, here in town is the Vixen, which they
Right.
tore down the old theater. Anyway, because this is a movie show. That's why I bring it up. But they made it into a comedy venue. Alice and I went to one, and the dude was dark, talking about addictions and stuff.
Uh-oh.
And I was laughing. I was the only one laughing.
Nobody was laughing.
No. And he's like, well, listen, I come out here to buy my drugs,
Right.
And I'm just laughing because I'm like, it's so true. And I was literally the only, maybe two other people, but I was literally the only one laughing. And it was just brilliant because it was dark and
Yeah.
it was funny. And people are like, I don't know. I know somebody with an addiction. Get over it.
Yeah.
Listen to what this man is saying.
Right.
It's hilarious. And the guy kind of kept over, then he kind of turns and he's because I was on the side of the stage and, he's like, all right, I got a guy who thinks this is funny. And, afterwards I went up to him as he's at the bar. I'm like, this is good stuff, man. Bad crowd. Good stuff.
Bad crowd, good stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, thanks.
And you got to, that's the other thing with the stand-up comedians is the courage it takes to go up there to try something. You're so vulnerable up there, giving your material, and they're either going to laugh at you or with you or be angry with you. I don't like those odds. I'm a gambler, and those aren't odds that I really care for.
Listen, I did let you down. I did not do my homework. I did not watch The Wizard of Oz in the last 2 weeks.
Did you notice I didn't even ask?
I did not. I said I would. I didn't, and I apologize. So I will try to.
We'll have to have a watch party.
So Keith says, he says, hey, what is your favorite set of trilogy movies?
Ooh, in general, it's tough. It's hard to have a perfect trilogy because you could say Godfather, but Godfather 3. I like
Kinda
Godfather
dumbed
3,
down.
especially what they redid with Godfather 3, but it's still the weakest of the bunch, right? There's always that one weak
But
link.
it's the closest
The
to the
one
real thing.
the one movie trilogy that I think is just beginning to end perfect would be Back to the Future. Back to the Future 1 is just classic sci-fi, good comedy. Back to the Future 2 is so imaginative, still keeps that sci-fi comedy vibe. And 3, if you look at it just as a Western, it's a very well done Western.
Yeah.
It's just a very creative Western. So I'd say Back to the Future is the best trilogy.
I would say any of the 398 Fast and the Furious. Can we
Pick a
stop?
trilogy.
Can we stop making that? Aren't we done watching?
They
these
should be done now. Like, I mean, with gas prices now, it should be just Vin Diesel on a bus, going.
He's on a Razor scooter.
I'm gonna get you, Ludacris. Well, this is the last one.
Good. They need to.
But it's two parts.
They need to stop. Just go.
It's gonna stop. You'll be okay.
Right? It's just,
Don't get offended, Ken.
that's right.
It's just Vin Diesel.
Oh my gosh, yeah. DeLorean is about to come back.
It is. I've seen. Have you
I love
seen
it.
what they look like?
No,
The electric DeLorean.
do they look the same?
Well, you can tell it's a DeLorean, but it's
Right.
It's very cool. Yeah,
I'd
and very
take it.
expensive.
Because
I was
you
already
want
told
you
you
wanted
no.
one back in the day. Like, oh my god.
Oh yeah. After Back to the Future,
I had
as
a
ki-
teacher who had one.
who had a DeLorean.
Yeah, Mrs. Belbert. Yeah, Belbert.
A teacher with a DeLorean. That's
Yeah, but
pretty cool.
her husband owned the Budweiser distribution.
Oh,
So they had money.
I was gonna say her husband was John DeLorean.
Yeah.
Like that's how she got it.
Yeah, they named their daughter Liberty Bell. It was weird.
Wait, what?
Yeah, they named their daughter Liberty Bell. I don't know.
Liberty the first name, Bell the middle.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, it was weird. And they were just weird people, but they had a DeLorean. Yeah,
You can be as weird as you want.
that's right.
I'll be weird for a DeLorean.
That's right. Keith says Derek's going to go waste his money on an electric DeLorean.
They look cool. I do want one. Yeah, after you saw Back to the Future, if you saw it as a kid, you wanted the skateboard. The dads wanted the DeLorean.
Yeah, the hoverboard, absolutely.
Oh, the hoverboard. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
absolutely. The here's something funny. I'm driving between appointments today, and I hear a commercial about unplugging fans and things like that.
Oh yeah.
To save energy to help the environment. And I found that funny because the same people are touting electric cars.
Oh, right.
I'm like, wait a minute. Hey, unplug your fan to conserve energy.
Yeah.
So you can plug in your neighbor's Tesla.
And you heard that on the radio?
Yeah, on the radio.
Yeah,
I
that's
thought it was
ironic
funny.
too.
Yeah.
Don't turn off your radio, or you won't get these important announcements
Right.
of turning off your electricity.
Yeah. Turn off a fan. Save electricity.
But
Just
not the radio.
go green. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah. These are weird times.
But those are the things that I laugh at. But I agree. Come out with something. There's a tragedy somewhere. There's something that happened. We could go back to the year 2020 and do a lampoon. Somebody could of the pandemic,
Well,
right?
and I
that
think
would
that's
be a
coming.
hilarious movie.
Could you imagine? Well, the one movie that came out on Netflix, which poked fun at the whole "Don't Look Up." Did you see?
Oh
that
yeah,
movie?
yeah, that was great.
They did that really well.
Yeah, they
And
did that well.
That might pave the way for something
Right.
like that.
But here's the thing: stay away from the political agendas and just make a funny movie.
Right. Just be funny.
Just be funny. There's a lot of funny people out there. Just be funny.
Yeah. Just be funny. Don't be afraid
Yeah.
of who you're going to offend.
Yeah, that's the entire year is a
The
joke.
entire year of 2020 is a joke.
Right. Yeah, that's why I say you
It
could.
writes itself.
It
right?
does. You
It
could
did.
literally lampoon this,
Yeah.
and if you wanted to, you could use fruit as your main
It would work.
characters.
It would work.
It would. Right. Keith says I'll take Biff's '48 Ford convertible.
Pre or post collision with the
Dump
manure,
hole,
right?
yeah, with the manure, right? That's what I said. He'd take it afterwards.
Yeah,
He'd get a better deal on it.
you would. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got a little
That'd be-
stain in it. Well, good, Keith. I'm glad.
That's funny.
Was that Keith talking in the third person? I love Keith.
Wow, this might.
And
this
tune
is-
in to catch his show, The Dream Home Experts, on Friday at 8. Listen, we're right on the back end of this thing. The hour goes by so fast.
Wow.
Absolutely good stuff as always. Let me just pump this in here a little bit. Oh, there it is. Coming in hot. All right. Listen, great job. I think comedy's not dead. I just think somebody's got to grow some balls to do it.
Yeah. Let's write something, Ken.
Let's do it.
I think we can do it. I like your fruit idea.
Yeah, let's do it. Listen, you've been listening to 216 The Net. This is the Slate Take 2. Real Talk with Scott Dehn. Of course, brought to you in part through the support of our good friends over at Golden Age Cinemas. Yes, it's a drive-in, www.goldenagecinemas.com. Playing this week, all weekend. Check them out. Lightyear and Thor, Love and Thunder. Come on out, have some fun. For all of us here at 216 Net, thanks for getting caught in the net. Do yourselves a favor. Grab your family. Go out. Watch a movie.
There we go. I like that. And laugh.
And
please.
laugh.
Relax.
Come back tomorrow. We've got the Bare Facts on Guns running tomorrow, Thursday. Friday's the big day where we go from sun up to sundown, past sun. Well, maybe sundown now. It's still bright by 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Make it great.
Thanks, everybody.